Alright. Welcome to a new edition of B&G's Top 5 that we call B&G Discuss. It's where we pick random topics and we just discuss it. There's no script, there's no list. We just kind of pick something out of thin air and then we just go with it.
Well, I was going to stick with our last top five because we had a lot of disagreements.
Oh, yeah.
Because Gabriel has bad taste in superhero movies.
I actually don't, but... No, yeah. And that video will be linked in the description below. So make sure to go and check that out. It is top 5 Marvel movies. But right now, we're going to be talking about the top 5 superhero movies. Or not even top 5s. Just the best. Just the best ones that we've ever seen.
What would you think your best villain is out of all of them?
Of every single super movie that's ever been. See, it's hard to be unique, because there are definitively good and bad villains.
Did you say Heath Ledger automatically
it
with
has
the
to
Joker?
Be, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just incredible.
What about the Joaquin Phoenix new one?
But that's what I was gonna say. Is I love Joaquin Phoenix as Joker because Joaquin Phoenix as Joker is it's a different take on the Joker because Heath Ledger was, this guy who just wanted to create chaos and he was this mastermind and anarchist and this kind of person. Joaquin Phoenix was just a guy who was super, who was beaten and stomped over by society and wronged in so many different ways. I mean, he had a social worker tell him that no one gives a crap about him. That's messed up. Your social worker is supposed to be there to help you, provide you, I'm trying to think of the word, but just to provide you aid, and
she just doesn't have any resources either, though.
She was just terrible. And and then he snapped. See,
he started going off his drugs. That's what really started doing it, right?
I can't remember if it was that. I just remember that Joaquin Phoenix did amazing.
He really good Joker.
He was insane.
Especially to live up to the hype of being the Joker.
But it was just different.
Yeah.
It was just such a different take on the Joker.
I thought even just the trailer was amazing. I'm really into trailers. I really liked the Batman vs Superman movie trailer.
Oh yeah.
This is my hot take superhero. I loved Batman vs Superman. How did you feel about it?
I just said that earlier, right before we did Marvel. I said I love that movie.
Everybody hates that movie.
I know.
It gets so much bad hate.
I know.
I really like the God aspect of Superman.
I do like that.
The fact that they bring it up, and then Batman obviously hates it.
Yes.
And in the trailer, he says,
"He just
do you believe you will?"
I didn't.
So I don't like Batman as
Ben Affleck
as
really?
Batman. Mm-mm.
It's interesting.
I didn't like his acting. But he didn't ruin it either. He didn't ruin it.
Yeah, I thought the thing about Batman that I really like live action portrayals of Batman that I really have a hard time with is I think half the time the actor will play a really great Batman but a really crappy Bruce Wayne or vice versa. Whereas in the animated films or in the Justice League TV show, it's a lot easier because it's just voice acting. So when Michael Keaton played Batman, I thought he was a great Bruce Wayne. Terrible Batman. George Clooney, terrible Batman, great Bruce Wayne. Because he was this player, this attractive.
The George Clooney version of Batman,
I know.
Those movies are just terrible, though.
And then Val Kilmer, kind of the same thing. Batman and Robin. Or that was Batman versus the Riddler or something like that. No, Batman Forever. It's Batman Forever. He did great Bruce Wayne, terrible Batman.
I'm of the opinion that all these old superhero movies are just terrible.
I mean, they're different. You have to...
Except for the Adam West version of Batman. That's the OG version of all the superhero movies.
Oh, that was more when it was a spoof movie.
That was a TV show I'm talking about. Have you seen the TV show with Adam West?
He has the purple Batman suit on, right?
I don't know.
And he has 2 lines. And they have like the crazy looking Batmobile.
No, I don't think.
Okay, there's this one Batman movie. It's like the oldest one imaginable, like the very first Batman movie. And like in it, Batman is like on a helicopter with Robin, and they're chasing Two-Face, and there's a shark that's like holding on to Batman's leg.
Oh, this sounds like the same type of thing.
And then he's like, Robin, get the shark repellent, and he gets shark repellent.
No, I think this
and
is
he sprays it.
Yeah,
it's so
a TV
good,
show.
Oh, is it?
It's
just
so
good.
Robin says stuff like "Golly Gee Willikers, Batman."
Yeah. Goodness me, Batman.
Oh, it's great though. It's so bad that it's great.
Oh yeah, but it's like a spoof movie. Like if someone made that now, it would be like a
TV
spoof.
show.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's possible they made a movie in it, but
I think it's a movie. I think there is a movie.
I'm sure there is.
There has to be.
It's not a spoof. That's just how.
But that's what's so funny about it.
That's why I agree. So what do you think of the Superman movies before Man of Steel?
Oh my gosh, they're terrible.
They're so bad.
They're horrible. Lex Luthor is Kevin Spacey. He's a horrible cast.
I really liked Man of Steel though.
I think Man of Steel is actually like one of like the most hated movies.
Really?
Yes, people like hate that movie.
People hate everything DC though. What do you think? What do you think of Suicide Squad?
It was terrible.
Yeah, that's so.
The thing is,
you know, the Joker single-handedly ruined that movie for me.
When I went,
the main villain was terrible too.
When I went to go watch it again, because when I saw it in theaters, I saw it with one of my friends. I was like a sophomore in high school, and I was like, "Oh, that movie's pretty good." And then his dad was like, "That movie was terrible," and I was like, "What are you on, man? That movie was so good, dude." It was like, and then I went and rewatched it, and I was like, "Man, it's a bad movie.
It's so bad."
Like if I was gonna tell someone about it, like I would be embarrassed to be like, "Oh yeah, this is a good movie."
Will Smith as Deadshot was the only good part.
Will Smith is just a good actor.
What's your favorite Will Smith movie without thinking?
Shoot, Men in Black.
I like Men in Black.
I mean, Men in Black's a fun watch.
You've seen iRobot?
Oh yeah, I've seen.
I love iRobot.
Dude, iRobot. People hate iRobot, bro.
Who?
I swear people hate on
Bro, I love iRobot.
iRobot has like 2 stars on like IMDb.
Really?
Yeah.
I love iRobot.
Bro, it's a great movie.
I
think it's fun. I think that iRobot though is like one of those movies that is so 2000s. Like it hurts. You know, you watch it and you're like, this was made in the 2000s. You know, like it's so obvious that it was made in the 2000s.
I don't even know what I like so much about iRobot, but there's something about the movie that's so good.
It's very unique. You know, the whole like sentient, like robots like being able to go beyond their programming.
The laws thing I really liked.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about it.
I thought, dude, really the purge of the NS4s, like when the NS5s go and like kill them all. When I was like a kid, that made me so like uncomfortable. Like I was just like I felt so. I was like
so intense.
I was like I was just like they're killing like ripping like they ripped their arm like and the NS4s are like fighting back, and then they're just like getting destroyed. Like they're getting their arms ripped off and like they get kicked into like it's crazy. It's crazy.
iRobot was such a good standalone sci-fi movie.
It was. It is sci-fi. Well, that maybe that should go into our next topic because we talked about villains at the beginning, but now we're kind of in sci-fi. What's your favorite sci-fi movie? Or just like in general, what's a good sci-fi movie? Maybe not your favorite.
I don't know a lot of standalones. That's why I said iRobot was such a good one.
Dude,
I think
Interstellar is a standalone sci-fi movie.
I have problems with Interstellar.
Really?
I got roasted on by a Ulysses that I won't name, but
there's 2 of them now. There's apparently 2 of them now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got married. Congrats, by the way, Ulysses.
But there's something about... So there's one part in Interstellar that I swear they just lost money to do. And it's the part where they're connecting the machine, like a pod to the spaceship where Matthew McConaughey leaves and he comes back. And I think it's when he's coming back to hook back up. And it looks like claymation. It's such a bad scene made.
I actually don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I just have to show you it. It's like so poorly. Just this one little scene, and it just bugged me so much. I just think
Interstellar is such an interesting, like, idea and premise. But my whole thought process of it is like, these people are on Earth, and the crops are all dead except for corn. So they're only living off of corn. And you go off into space immediately, because you need to go figure out this problem and like look at all these different planets. But like 70 years have passed? 60 years have passed before they figure it out? It's like, how did they survive 60 years? Like 60 more years of just eating on corn. Like, I feel like if you just ate corn, like, you know, like, you wouldn't be able to survive. Like, you'd be so malnourished. You know?
What? So
it's not a balanced diet. I feel like you couldn't sustain off of just
the whole thing is they figure out how to survive by the human beings in the future that showed them how to survive. But the human beings in the future wouldn't have existed unless they figured it out on their own. So that whole... You follow my logic?
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
It's a paradox. But then if the
and then they say love is what does it, you know? And then I've heard that love is actually God. I'm not buying it.
Interstellar, I mean, I still think it's a good movie. I think it's a little bit hard to follow.
You remember when we talked about trailers?
Yeah.
The Interstellar movie trailer was one of the best movie trailers I've ever seen. I for 2 years, I wanted to see this movie. That's how hyped it was for me.
Are you kidding me?
Because someone showed it to me in high school. I was like, oh my gosh, this looks like the greatest movie I'll ever see. So maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Almost no movie could live up to that hype.
No. I mean...
It was good. There was definitely better parts than others. I thought it was weird. You know, he went to the planet and then he didn't age like everybody else.
I mean, but that's because, like... That, yeah, the whole aspect of time in that movie, man, that'll mess you up. See, Interstellar is just so complex. That's why I think Inception actually did it better. I think Inception
I thought you like Inception?
Oh, I love Inception.
Okay.
I was just messing with you earlier.
Oh,
I was just trying to get a rise out of you.
Okay.
No,
I'm not a huge Inception guy either.
You literally said you liked Inception.
It's good. It's original. And you know how I feel
about
originals.
No,
Inception is really good. And it ends really good too.
It really does. And it, like, you have to think when you watch Inception. That's what I like. Honestly, that's what I like about Christopher Nolan films. Is that, like, I think that a lot of times...
He's a good filmmaker.
Well, I think a lot of times, like, filmmakers, directors, you know, they have a problem with not trusting the audience to be smart enough to understand what's going on. So they'll kind of, like, spoon feed things to you. And they'll kind of, like... It's almost like the script, like, talks down to the audience, you know? Like, so, for example...
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to stop you right there. There's a reason they do that, and it's because there are a lot of people who don't know what's going on.
No, but, like, for me, like, I
appreciate...
I hate movies like that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like only, like... So, for example, if it was a superhero movie, okay? And someone can shoot lasers out of their hands. And then they have another character who's like... Wow, this person, he's using ionic beams that are contracted into, like, the innermost part of his palm and shot out at a trajectory, which causes it to be you know, like, that's just like, advancing the plot and describing this person's power, but instead of using a narrator, it's just using another character. I think that that's lame. And Christopher Nolan doesn't do stuff like that. Like, and if he does, it's never, like, obvious. It's just very subtle, and, like, it explains the plot, like as if you're one of the characters, you know.
Well,
he respects the audience. And
there's intelligent audience people who are watching who know where movies will take them usually.
Mm-hmm.
So if they see this in a movie, they'll just think, okay, it's going to be this because that's what happens in every movie.
Mm-hmm.
And these types of directors like Nolan and others or Quentin Tarantino, someone like that, knows what people will expect, and so they know how to play on that a little bit, so they can show you something that you haven't seen before.
And that Shyamalan does that really well, or he did in, like, his early career, like, because you know.
The problem is they make it disturbing sometimes, because they really want it to be unpredictable.
Well, that's the problem that M. Night Shyamalan had with, like, the Happening, and it just was laughable, you know. Like, I don't know if you've even heard about it. Happening is about, like, it was where
people were, like, disappearing.
No, just committing suicide. Like, everyone was just committing suicide.
I thought it was the wind or something.
Yeah, the wind. It was like the wind that was the big villain. And, like, it's just like, that's so stupid. Why is it the wind that's the villain?
Did you watch the movie?
No.
So
I'm not gonna waste my time on this movie. No, but
I thought it was
I'm not gonna roast M. Night
Isn't Mark
Shyamalan.
Wahlberg in it?
Mark Wahlberg
I
is
love
in
Mark
it.
Wahlberg. Yeah.
But, okay, that's not the point. The point is.
I'll watch anything with him. It is the point.
The point is
Don't
that
ever talk bad about Mark Wahlberg
I like.
again.
Oh, you like Transformers with Mark Wahlberg?
I love Transformers with Mark Wahlberg. Transformers. The thing about Transformers.
Bro, I was gonna
is
say
that-
something.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And then you
go ahead.
freaking interrupted
Go
me
ahead.
so hard.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You sound like Roy Ulysses Graves right now.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, the man is name dropped. Well, he's out there now. Roy, you're out there. Anyway, no, what I was gonna say is that like, I think M. Night Shyamalan actually did that really well with Signs, and he did it really well with Unbreakable, and he did it really well with now what was the I See Dead People, The Sixth Sense? No, he's just like what, and then you go back and you watch like okay, let's talk about The Sixth Sense really quick. Like that, M. Night Shyamalan does have really great standalone sci-fi films. Kind of going back to the earliest point, because man, Sixth Sense.
You call me old.
If you go back and watch The Sixth Sense, and you know that he's a ghost, go back and like watch him like touch things and interact.
Spoilers.
And-
What's wrong with you?
Bro, come on, that movie came out like 30 years ago. Like if you haven't seen it, it's not a spoiler anymore, bro. Go watch the movie. Anyway, like if you go back and watch it, and you see him like touch things or interact with things, it actually doesn't. He never once like moves an object like around in the air. And it'd be
Okay,
like,
we
oh, a ghost.
we got it.
You know, it's just super good. And M. Night Shyamalan did that really good. You know?
Who's your favorite actor?
Ever? Shoot, man. That's
Who are some of your favorite actors?
like that I just see on screen? I really like... Oh, man. I really like Anne Hathaway. Like, as an actress.
Have you seen Les Mis?
Yes!
You really like it?
Yes! Super good.
I really want to see it.
I really like Anne Hathaway. I think that she's a really great actress.
She is a good actress.
And, like, she can do accents really well. I think that she can be funny. Like, Princess Diaries, Devil Wears Prada. I think she's great in Dark Knight Rises. You know, like, I really do enjoy seeing Anne Hathaway on screen. She's super
The
fun.
Princess Diaries?
Like, the original movie. You watched it? You didn't watch that as a kid?
I did.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
They're
It's
so
like-
bad, but they're so good.
But they're so good.
Yeah.
Because Anne Hathaway's in it.
How do you feel about High School Musical?
Oh, my gosh. Terrible. Have you ever gone back and watched it as an
I
adult?
haven't.
If you've ever gone back and watched it as an
That's
adult,
what somebody tells
like,
me.
oh my gosh,
goodness.
it's honestly it's more funny. Like if you go and watch it, and you're like, this is hilarious. Like, it's laughable.
Bro, I love Mark Wahlberg though. Bro, Shooter? It's one of the best.
I've
movies
actually
of
never
all
seen
time.
Shooter.
Oh
Okay,
my god!
Whenever I hear about Shooter, I always get Shooter and Looper mixed up.
Looper was a pretty.
Looper's
good movie.
with
Bruce Willis.
yeah, no, I like Bruce Willis movies, but no, that's Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like him.
he's alright.
I don't like love him, but I like him.
He's alright.
Um,
Bro, you haven't seen Shooter?
no. Should I?
Bro, it's so good.
Okay.
It used to be my favorite movie.
You want to know?
My favorite.
Do you want to know who I really like seeing on screen?
Who?
Leonardo DiCaprio. I really like Leonardo DiCaprio. He's so good. The Revenant.
I like The Revenant.
Inception. You've got
People like Titanic.
Shutter Island. Have you ever seen Shutter
I
Island?
haven't seen it. People
Dude.
tell me I should.
Shutter Island is so good, dude. You'll actually like it. You'll actually like it, but I mean, it might scare Beth.
People tell me it's got like a crazy ending or something.
It has a wild ending.
You like Titanic?
I've never seen Titanic. I can't be asked to watch a 3-hour movie.
I haven't seen it either.
It's 3 hours, man.
It's one of the highest grossing movies of all time. Isn't that so insane?
So is Gone with the Wind.
Have you seen Gone with the Wind?
No.
I have.
My gosh. Have you seen Where the Red Fern Grows?
Mm-mm.
Bro, that's a movie right there.
Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Have you seen that?
Oh, dang, bro. That movie's messed up.
What's the most horrifying movie you've ever
Like,
seen?
Oh, my gosh.
That stayed with you?
That stayed with me. When I was a kid, it was like anything that had to do with like murder. So like, it wasn't really movies. It was like NCIS, where I'd just see like people being like, or like, what was it called? Criminal Minds, where I just see people getting like gruesomely murdered on screen. And I'm like, you know, like that
They really are really intense.
that was really
sometimes.
bad.
Have you ever seen Goosebumps?
I have seen a couple of Goosebumps.
When I was a kid, my sisters made me watch Goosebumps, and there was this one Slappy. It was like a doll.
Yeah.
It scarred me for so long. I don't even know why.
I'll say the one that I think really scarred me. I actually watched this in like the past like year or two. It was American Psycho. Like, it wasn't such a scary movie as that I was like so grossed out by the movie.
Oh, isn't that Christian Bale?
Christian Bale. And I was like, I was like, dude, I kind of like Christian Bale. Let me watch this movie. And I got about like a fourth in the way, and I was like, this is like bad. This is like so inappropriate and like gross and almost like like I think some movies, they'll like horror movies or like kind of like The Shining, you know, like they'll do things that's like disturbing, but like it has taste to it because it's like, you know, like it's not the whole thing is just trying to disturb you. But then American Psycho would do things, and I'm like just horrified.
That's what I'm saying. How movies will go out of their way to make themselves original by just making themselves disturbing.
I hate that. Like Gabe Lewis's. You know, the cinema of the unsettling. I guess we should move into that. Like,
quite a segue.
Because we can't go into The Office like just as broad as it is. Just what are some funny things about Gabe Lewis that you just really enjoy?
Gabriel Susan Lewis.
What can GSL do for you, bro?
What
I love that
name.
line so much. It's like, sure, what can GSL do?
We should just say the best characters now because you said there's not enough characters.
Okay.
G thinks the best character in The Office.
It has to be Ryan.
Oh my goodness.
He is so funny.
He's the worst
so funny.
character on the show.
Bro, but he's like, oh my gosh. Okay, listen. I'm going to say this and I'm going to say it now. I hate Michael Scott.
He's so funny.
I hate Michael Scott. And
You're supposed to hate him.
Let me tell you why I hate Michael Scott. Because he's an idiot. So first and foremost,
that can't be why. There's so many other characters who are though, and you don't hate them.
Michael Scott, he is the most conceited, arrogant, selfless.
Selfless?
No, I mean selfish.
Ryan.
Selfish, rude.
Stanley.
Misogynistic. He's so
Todd Packer.
Blatantly misogynist. But he's all of those characters, bad qualities, into one character. Like, I get your point, but like all three of those characters are in Michael Scott.
How is Todd Packer not way worse than Michael?
Because Michael doesn't. Packer knows he's a dirtbag. Packer knows he's a dirtbag. Okay, Michael thinks he's this amazing guy who deserves the best, and it's like, no, I deserve love. I'm a good guy. And here's one thing that I hate about Michael is that he tries to be a boss outside of the office, and I hate that. Like
Hi, I'm Date Mike. Nice to meet you.
Like at Diwali, like whenever he's like trying to be all this big shot.
Bro, he's the world's best boss.
I hate that. I'm like, bro, you're not their boss outside of the office. You're just a guy. You can't tell people what to do outside of the office.
I wonder what I would have been back in my country. You are in your country.
It's like,
you are back home. He says you are back home.
What a medical school cost? $1? No.
Bro, it's so offensive. There's no way you could show The Office now.
He's so offensive, man.
It's so funny.
He's so like.
The thing is, no, he's so offensive ignorantly. That's the beauty.
That's what I hate about Michael the most.
Beauty of him.
But that's what, dude. Honestly,
so
let me tell you, the number one moment that made me hate Michael more, like, because he does have some redeeming qualities. Okay, like when he was with Jan, that was a bad relationship. He shouldn't have been with Jan. Okay, I get that. But there are some. Oh my gosh, there's this one moment, and I know that you know what I'm gonna say. It's in the episode called Golden Ticket. And it just makes me hate Michael. And that one episode makes me hate Michael so much. Is because he is so arrogant and cocky about having this golden ticket idea. And then he's about to get fired. And so he's like,
so good.
He's like, my golden ticket idea. Who said it was my golden ticket? And then the camera just pans in on his hat. And he's just like, because he knows. But he's just denying it. Because he's a a-hole.
There's no way.
He's so bad.
There's no way they could have
hate
made
it.
up that account. You remember they?
Yeah, it was 50% of their biggest.
There's no way
biggest client.
Even if they made Dunder Mifflin their paper supplier on everything, there's no way they could have made up for 50%
just imagine
of
this.
the account for free.
Imagine that account was $10 million.
They lost $5 million.
They lost $5 million.
Instantly.
Honestly, like, the bigger the amount goes, like, say the account was like 500 million, and then like to
The
lose
worst
half
loss
of that,
it.
like,
because you're
Oh
losing
my
the profit
gosh.
on it too, probably
I mean, yeah, there's no, yeah,
by a lot.
you're, oh my gosh, just imagine like your revenue being cut completely in half by one. Oh man, that's just bad. That's just bad, and that was Michael's fault. It was all Michael's fault. And then he denies it and tries to get Dwight fired. And then he gets but this is really the ceiling. This is what seals the deal and makes almost like,
the coup
I
de
just want
grace.
to punch you right in the face. He's like, he gets mad when Dwight gets credit for it. And he goes, I'll be honest, David, I want all of the credit and none of the blame. And I'm like, that is Michael Scott.
He's honest.
That is him. That is him. But he's not honest for the whole episode. He's a liar. He's such a dirtbag. Michael is a dirtbag.
Gosh, bro, whatever you say about Michael, Ryan is just way worse.
But he's not. Ryan isn't ignorant. He just is mean, and that's what's funny about Ryan is that he's just blatantly horrible.
How is ignorance...
Michael thinks that he's a great person, which makes him even worse.
Okay,
he's
but
not.
Michael will sometimes try to act above himself, but Ryan never does.
That's what I love about him.
That's why he's so terrible.
He's so funny.
He's not.
He's
really
amazing.
not.
He's so good.
Oh my god.
Bro, I love his whole relationship with Kelly. That is so funny.
My wife's favorite whole moment in the whole show is with Kelly. It's when she says... It's when she tells Ryan I'm pregnant, and then it just goes to her outside the screen, and she's like...
And I am
It's
keeping it.
so
That's such a good line.
Oh, man.
It's a date. Kelly's crazy.
She is crazy.
Oh my goodness. Dude, I think that's probably good for
You want to end it?
for this installment of
You want to end it with Kelly out of all of the things we could have ended it
I
on?
mean, I think for this installment of B&G Discuss, we could do B&G Discuss The Office. That could be like a huge one. Dude, we just have to see what the viewership wants, you know.
Okay.
We'll have to see what the
I don't even
viewership
know what we're
wants.
going to call this one. It's just so
Just
random.
B&G Discuss randomness. Just episode 1, B&G Discuss, episode 1.
Alright.
All right, well, with that, guys, we will sign off. We're glad that you guys are listening to our content. We hope to see you guys in the future. Like, subscribe, turn your post notifications on. We will have the top 5 Marvel movies in the description for you guys to watch. That one will be posted probably before this video, so go and check that one out. But anyway, yeah, this has been B&G Discuss in person. And probably the last in-person one for a long time.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Maybe.
Well, until Labor Day.
And if you think B&G Discuss was the worst thing we've ever put out, it was G's idea, so...
Just let us know in the comments if you guys want more B&G Discuss or not.
Just let us know if it's the worst idea you've ever heard or a mildly good idea.
It could be.
This may be the best decision you've ever made.
Or the worst. He goes...
Or the best good decision you've ever made.
Good decision.
I don't think... What does he say?
That's D'Angelo and Andy, right?
Yeah.
He's like, Andy Bernard, this could be either the worst decision you ever make. No, he goes, and I'll be honest with you, Andy, he's pretty good. Yeah.
No, he says, he has potential.
He has potential. yeah, he has potential.
It's a big waste of my time, sir. Oh my
man.
goodness.
Anyway, well, thank you guys. We will see you next time on B&G's Top 5.